Motivation's like rocket fuel. When you have it, you're unstoppable. When you don't, you're a tube of talent that refuses to lift off. Also, like rocket fuel, motivation is an inside ingredient. Looking for motivation on the outside via loud music, inspirational speeches, enlightening quotes, or just plain berating yourself works about as well as cooking without a stove. The eye-watering number of people who look up how to get motivated in Google each month are looking outside themselves for a solution to a problem that can only be found within. So if you'd like a quick trip to the bottom of the motivation pool, you're in the right place. The first thing to understand about motivation is that we don't usually have a problem with it when it comes to issues in life that we're happy about. Take our dog, for example. He's a wizard at shaking hands if you've got dog treats with you. In fact, he'll get that paw up into your face at the slightest sign of you reaching towards one of them. He's not so ready to reach out for kids who don't have treats but want to see him performing over and over again. And we're a little bit like that ourselves. We're so motivated to catch our flight to our overseas holiday that we wake up every hour during the night making sure we haven't missed the alarm. We don't manage to jump out of bed with the same energy or the same early hour to get to the gym. Obviously, what we're excited about gets our motor running. So, no problem so far. Your engine usually won't start when you want it to fire up about something that you don't actually care about. And let's face it, not many of us get all hot under the collar for commuting to work or disciplining the kids or cleaning out the shed, mostly because there's about a gazillion more things we'd rather be doing. We just don't feel like doing the dreary thing, even though we know we should be doing it. I'm not in the mood rapidly mixes with but you have to, forms into a smelly soup that feels ugly and uncomfortable. We're hopeless at dealing with such negative emotions, so we actively mood alter. That means we indulge in some substance or activity that changes how we feel. And our personal choices vary on this, but they all have the same effect, which is to change an ugly feeling into a more pleasant one. Now, whether that's achieved with chocolate, beer, or just plain old procrastination, that's irrelevant. While the distractive agent is still working, we're okay. But sooner or later it wears off and we're left with its contribution to our self-esteem, and that's never positive. Literally, how often have you given yourself an uppercut for being lazy or avoiding what is obviously necessary? What few people realise is that taking massive action towards the very activity we're avoiding has an almost magical effect. Give it a go. There's power in taking action that will reveal itself to you every time you employ it. In short, action creates motivation. It's never the other way around. You can wait years to feel like it and never have motivation turn up by itself. You can sit on your lounge waiting for motivation to walk down the street, knock on your door and ask to be allowed in, but you're going to be waiting in vain. Motivation never turns up because you want it to. Motivation is a result of action. Motivation is actually caused by action. When you run this experiment at home, you'll notice that just getting on with cleaning the shed out creates a sense of purpose and achievement. What's irrelevant is whether you feel like cleaning out the shed or not. Of course, when you start, you don't feel like it. If you did, you'd be finished already. The truth is, when you wait for motivation to show up, you're assuming that for some reason that defies logic, you will suddenly, in about an hour or so, just get the uncontrollable urge to clean the shed. Even worse, you're listening to yourself sell this idea of waiting as a good idea to guess who? And when you decide to launch into cleaning the shed whether you feel like it or not, you're turning the switch that allows motivation to flow from your activity. How many times have you got yourself going on a project only to discover that the action of getting somewhere with it has created within you an urge to tackle the next job? And the weird thing about motivation isn't just that it comes after we take action. The truly crazy thing is that we get more and more motivated by our continued action. Talk about a self-feeding loop. If you look deeply enough at this concept, it becomes clear that we're waiting to fall in love with something that we were never going to fall in love with in the first place. Look, let's face it, going on a diet is no one's idea of fun and laughter, and it's everyone's idea of being punished for the excesses we've indulged in. How many times have you heard someone say, "No, I'm not going to have that beer, thanks mate, I'm being good"? And we all know this poor sucker's had too many beers over the years and has now told themselves that they have to pay up for their indulgence. And they'll suffer the being good as punishment because they haven't realised two things. First up, they should be happy about all those beers that were in fact just surplus and indulgent and a bit stupid. And secondly, they refuse to acknowledge that a beer-free month or two might be an excellent experience where they wake up bright and aware, full of energy and clarity and ready for a great day. It's their attitudinal choice that determines their beer-free month. One attitude creates dreariness, suffering and anguish, and they will seriously lack motivation to see out the 30 days. days. The other attitude creates brightness, a sense of privilege, and a happy expectation of a great experience. But it's the same 30 days. Therefore, it's your assignment to figure out what will be good for you to do for you. That's the first step. The second is to find the attitude that makes it an exciting part of the new you.